हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnava vrinda ki jai. Om adnanatimirandhasya ज्ञानांजन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Shri Shri Radha Shyama Sundar, we are continuing our reading of Srila Sanatan Goswami's Shri Brihad Bhagavatamrta. We are in part 1, Shri Narad Muni's quest for the recipient of Shri Krishna's greatest mercy. And today we are going to start section 6 called Priyatama, the most beloved. Shri Narad Muni arrives at Shri Krishna's palace. The context is that Shri Ugrasen Maharaj and the Yadav heroes have told Shripad Narad Muni that we are not the recipients of Krishna's greatest mercy. It is, in fact, Shri Uddhavji, who is Krishna's own disciple, servant, messenger, very confidential friend. He's always with Krishna. We have to wait for Krishna's darshan, but Uddhav is always with Krishna. Is very dear to Krishna. Krishna gives him his own clothes to wear. He has started looking like Krishna. Krishna gives his own food remnants, his Mahaprasad, to Uddhav. So Uddhav is really the recipient of Krishna's greatest mercy. Anybody who sees Uddhav is reminded of Shri Krishna. Shri Parikshit Uvacha Tad Shrutvarye Mahaprema Rasaveshe Nayantritaha Mahavishnu Priyo Veena Hastosau विस्मृताखिला सदा द्वारवती वासाभ्यस्तान्तः पुरवर्त्मना प्रभु प्रसाद देशान्तः प्रवेशाश्चर्यवाहिना पूर्वाभ्यासाद् इवाभ्यासम् प्रासादस्य गतो मुनिः भूताविष्टो महोन्माद गृहीतश्च यथेतरः. Shri Parikshit said, Noble mother. Remember, Shri Parikshit Maharaj is narrating Brihad Bhagavatamrita to his mother, Srimati Uttara Mata. Noble mother, after hearing Maharaj Ugrasen's advice, Shripad Narad Muni, the dear devotee of Lord Mahavishnu, became absorbed in the rasa, in the taste of exalted love of God, Prem Ras, which seized him in its grip. Forgetting everything else, he started off, Veena in hand. Narada Muni Vajaye Veena Radhika Ramana Name. Having spent much time before in Dwaraka, Sri Narad Muni automatically took the familiar roads to the center of the city, amazing roads that led to the neighborhood of Lord Krishna's palaces, and came to a palace of Lord Krishna's that he knew how to reach from earlier visits. Under the spell of intense transcendental agitation, Sri Narad Muni seemed like an ordinary person haunted by a ghost. Sri Narad Muni is experiencing intense transcendental agitation, and sometimes ordinary people can mistake it. as madness, but actually it is transcendental ecstasy. The ecstasy that I'm going to meet Krishna. How excited we will feel if we are going to Krishna's house to see Krishna, to meet Krishna. That is the ecstasy that Sripad Narad Muni is experiencing. As this chapter describes what Sri Narad Muni says to Uddhav and the other devotees in Dwarka, inspires them to discuss the present situation in Vraj. Over here in these talks, Krishna becomes bewildered in ecstatic love. When Narad Muni left Hastinapur for Dwarka, he could think only of how wonderful are Sri Krishna and his devotees. He picked up his veena but was too distracted to play it. How then did he manage to find his way to Dwarka and Krishna's palaces? It's a good question. He managed because he had gone there many times before. He took the right roads even without paying attention. As the road to the inner city approached the royal quarters, it assumed a bewildering appearance and took many unusual turns, making it a road ordinarily impossible for non residents to follow. Sri Narad Muni seemed oblivious of what he was doing and managed to arrive at his destination only because he was accustomed to the route. The truth is, however, that when one is conducted helplessly under the control of pure love of God, Krishna Prem, one actually understands everything perfectly. Yomam evam asamudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid. He certainly cannot forget the way to reach the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. भूमौ क्वापि स्खलति पतति क्वापि तिष्ठात् अचेष्टः क्वापि उत्कम्पम् क्वाप उत्कम्पं भजति लुठति क्वापि रोदित अथार्तः क्वाप आक्रोशन् प्लुतिभिरयते गायति क्वापि नृत्यम् सर्वं क्वापि श्रयति युगपत् प्रेम संपद विकारम् नाहं विप्रो न च नरपतिर् नापि वैश्यो न शूद्रो. Like that at same meter. He sometimes tripped, Sri Narad Muni. He sometimes tripped, fell to the ground, sometimes stood motionless. These are all symptoms of ecstasy. Sometimes his body trembled, utkampan. Sometimes he rolled on the ground, luthati, or he wept in great distress, roditi. Sometimes fell, patati. Sometimes got up, tishtati. Sometimes was just stunned unconscious, acheshta. He sometimes shouted and jumped about. Akroshan, he was sometimes shouting, ah. Plutibhi, sometimes jumping about, jumping up and down. Sometimes he sang Gayati, and sometimes he danced Nrityan. And sometimes all the transformations of priceless love of God, prema, sampad, vikaram, all the transformations of love of God, vikar means transformations, converged in him at once. Yugapat, all of them came together. Yugapat, they all came together, connected, and simultaneously all the Prem Sampat Vikaram, the great transformations of divine love manifested in the body of Sri Narad Muni. In this regard, I would like to show you one shloka, 1 second. It's a very beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. 1 second, I have to end this screen share and then share again. This verse is very, very beautiful. You can take a screenshot and memorize this verse. Evam vratasva priyanama kirtya. Very famous verse from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11 to 40. Evam vratasva priyanama kirtya jata nurago druta chitta uchchai hasat athoro ditiroti gayat unmadavan nrityati lokabaya. This verse describes from Srimad Bhagavatam the symptoms of ecstasy of a pure devotee, ecstatic symptoms of a pure devotee. When they chant Swapriyanam, when they chant the holy name that is very dear to them. By chanting the holy name of the Supreme Lord, Bhagwan, Swapriyanam, Kirtya, Kirtya means to sing, one comes to the stage of love of Godhead, Krishna Prem. What happens at the stage of Krishna Prem? Then the devotee is fixed in his vow as an eternal servant of the Lord. And we gradually become very much attached to a particular name and form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A particular form, a particular name. For Srila Rupa Goswami, it was Radha Govinda. For Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, it was Sri Radha Raman. For Sri Jiva Goswami, it was Sri Radha Damodar. So the devotee gets attracted to a particular form of the Lord, Ishtadev, and the name of Ishtadev. As his heart melts, Druta Chitta. Druta Chitta means heart is melting with ecstatic love. The devotee laughs, hasati, sometimes loudly, cries, roditi, sometimes shouts, rauti, sometimes sings, gayati, sometimes like a mad person starts dancing, unmadavat nrityati, and without caring about what others are thinking, lokabhaya. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, these are the symptoms of ecstasy. Symptoms of ecstasy of a pure devotee. Evam vratasva priyanama kirtya jata nurago druta chitta uchchai. Jata nurago means develops anurag, love, attachment. And then all these symptoms happen. Heart melts, druta chitta. And then loudly, uchcha hasati, uchchat roditi, uchchat gayati. Loudly sings, dances, cries, laughs. Unmadavan nrityati lokabhaya, and dances. The symptoms of ecstasy. It's pure love of God, it has been described. It's a very, very beautiful verse. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.40. So this we are actually seeing in Shripad Narad Muni, in Shri Brhad Bhagavatamrta. We see this in Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, in Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, his symptoms of ecstasy, Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Sometimes all these symptoms of ecstasy appeared simultaneously also. Trembling, sweating, crying, laughing, being stunned, falling down. The full manifestations of devotional ecstasy appeared in Sri Narad Muni's body as trembling, perspiration, standing of the bodily hairs on end. Sorry, I said sweating. My mistake. I beg your pardon. It should be perspiration. Even though the words have the same meaning, but when we describe Krishna Katha, we have to use very choice words because Shri Krishna is first class. Shri Krishna is very most high class person. We should try to use the most super excellent language to describe Shri Krishna. We should not use colloquial words, colloquial language, casual language. We should speak pure language when we describe Krishna Katha. When we speak English, it should be appropriate words, words that have the right connotation. Sweating is, Not a very high class word, but perspiration has a little better connotation. When we speak Harikatha in Hindi, we should speak the actual Hindi. Avoid using Urdu words like that. Any language we speak, Krishna Katha in, we should try to do it in a good language, high class language as far as possible, pure language as far as possible. Just like if we offer bhoga to Krishna, we'll try to get the best vegetables, best fruits, best ghee for Krishna. Similarly, the language used for Krishna Katha should be, as far as possible, according to our capacity, pure and high class. Therefore, Shri Krishna is called Uttama Shlok. He's described in the choice poetry, choice words, choicest words. So perspiration sounds better than sweating. So I apologize. So trembling, perspiration, standing of the hair on end, and loudly crying. Only devotees advanced in prem feel the ecstasies that externally show as these symptoms. So very important sentence. So what this means is, first one has to feel it internally. Druta chitta, you see, melting of the heart, druta chitta, and then it uncontrollably, naturally manifests externally. The inner ecstasy manifests externally as symptoms. For example, if in the lungs there is COVID-19 virus, internally COVID-19 virus, externally it will manifest as cough, fever. Similarly, internally there is Druta Chitta because of Jata Anurago, arising of Anurag, Prem, attachment, love, internal. And external manifestation will be crying, perspiration, hair standing on end, trembling, change of bodily color, Vaivarna, all these things. So, ecstatic symptoms are external manifestation of internally experienced love, ecstasy. Internal ecstasy, external. Similarly, my dear friends, preaching, leading kirtan, doing any leadership activity in a society of devotees should be an external manifestation, external byproduct of internal bhajan, internal spiritual advancement, internal spiritual vigor, internal spiritual commitment, internal spiritual ecstasy should manifest as external spiritual leadership in any sphere of leadership. There are different ways one can be a leader. One can be a pujari, one can be a preacher, one can be a kirtan leader, one can be a counselor to devotees, one can be a manager, one can lead a congregation, one can be a temple president, whatever, GBC, zonal secretary, Diksha Guru. All these leadership positions should be an external manifestation of internal spiritual advancement. Only then it will be sustainable. If it is done artificially, or if it is done with a desire for prestige and prominence, then it will not sustain, my dear friends. So here, Sri Narad Muni's external symptoms are there, but they are a byproduct of his internal ecstasy. Hemanmataridanim tvam savadhana bhava sthiratam prapayanti mam sadhairyam shrunidam swayam. My dear mother, Maharaj Parikshit is saying, please now be fully attentive. Listen soberly with steady concentration to what I am about to say. Maharaj Parikshit, he is telling his mother that idanim tuam avadhanatara, be very attentive, and please shrunu idam, listen to this with great attention what I am about to say. Now Narad Muni is entering Krishna's palace to meet Uddhav and Krishna. Krishna's palace because Uddhav is always with Krishna. Remember what Ugrasen Maharaj said? Go where Krishna is, that's where you will find Uddhav. My dear mother, now be fully attentive because we are discussing Priyatama devotee, the most dear devotee. Listen soberly with steady concentration to what I am about to say. Maharaj Parikshit ji wants his mother, Shri Uttara Mata, to listen carefully so that the Supreme Lord's pastime he is about to describe will enchant her mind and awaken her ecstatic love. Parikshit knows from his own experience that the insanity of love for Krishna is in fact the most natural condition of the soul, and that devotees infected with this insanity, transcendental insanity, Krishna Prem, are more sober and in touch with reality than anyone else. What does this remind you of? Raise your hand. Srila Prabhupada's essay in Back to Godhead magazine and his essay that he wrote. Who is crazy? Remember? Srila Prabhupada wrote, Who is crazy? Prabhupada wrote an essay. Who is crazy? The materialists think the devotees are crazy. Devotees think the materialists are crazy. Prabhupada says, Who is crazy? Shabda Praman. Shastra will decide who is crazy. And Shastra says that those who are crazy for Krishna are actually the wisest. And those who are crazy for material things are wasting their life. Because yahi samsparshaya bhoga dukha yona evate. Adyantavanta kaunteya na teshu ramate buddha. Na teshu ramate buddha. Devotees don't do Raman in sense gratification, which is a beginning and end, and which is born from the contact of senses with sense objects. Different form of sense gratification. Devotees don't do that. Buddha don't do it. Buddha means those who are intelligent. So where do they do Raman? What is their enjoyment? यही संस्पर्शया भोगा विषय भोग devotees don't do. Not Eshu Ramate Buddha. Intelligent people don't do it. So where do they enjoy then? Not Eshu Ramate. Ramate means to enjoy. They don't enjoy material sense gratification. So what do they enjoy? Who knows from Bhagavad Gita? Here not Eshu Ramate Buddha. Na Ramate. And where do they Ramate? मच्चित्ता मद्गता प्राण बोधयंत परस्परम कथयंतश्च माम नित्यम तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च. Hari Bol. In Krishna Katha, in the association of devotees conversing each other about the glories of Shri Krishna. I know Sudevi Goswami had the same answer. Sorry, I saw your raised hand a little late. That is the Ramana of the devotees. Talking about Radha Ramana. Hari Bol. Glorifying Radha Raman. That is the enjoyment of the devotee. So now, Krishna Katha, very, very intimate Krishna Katha of his most intimate devotees are going to be described. So, Sri Parikshit Maharaj is warning his mother, Mother, now please pay attention. 100% attention. Focus on what I'm about to say. Tasmin hanikenapi vayamanasyena veshmanaha antah prakoshthe suptasya prabho parshvam vihaya अधुरादेहली प्रान्ते निविष्ट श्रीमद् उद्धवः बलदेवो देवकी च रोहिणी रुक्मिणी तथा सत्यभामादयोन्याश्च देव्या पद्मावती च सा प्रवृत्तिहारिणी कंस माता दास्यस् तथा पराः. हरे कृष्ण. That day Lord Krishna was for some reason disturbed in mind and asleep in the inner quarters. And Uddhav had left him and sat down nearby on a terrace at the edge of the palace. There Uddhav was joined by Sri Balaramji, Sri Devaki Mata, Sri Rohini Mata, and the queens of Sri Krishna like Sri Rukmini Devi, and Shri Satyabhama Devi, as well as various maid servants and other ladies, including Kamsa's mother, Padmavati, a lady who had the habit of making public gossip about Krishna's personal affairs. Padmavati. All of them were sitting with Uddhava on the terrace, and Krishna was downstairs in his bedroom sleeping because he was not feeling well. He was agitated. He was disturbed in his mind. So he said, I want to take. How we sometimes say, I'm having a migraine. Just leave me alone. I want to sleep. We close all the blinds and everything, close the bedroom, and we go to sleep. So Krishna was having a bad day. Bhagwan also has a bad day. But why a bad day? We'll find out. Very sweet reason. Haribol. Everything is enjoyment for Krishna. For Krishna, not feeling well is also enjoyment. Haribol. Krishna not feeling well becomes a Leela. Krishna not feeling well becomes a Leela. Example? Raise your hand. Prabhupada tells the story. Krishna is having a headache, severe migraine attack. Oh, headache, 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 headache. When people get a severe intractable headache, we give them in the hospital as a last resort migraine cocktail. We call it migraine cocktail. IV medicines, different painkillers, different anti-nausea medicines, different sedatives, and just try to abort the migraine attack. So Krishna also, when he was having headache, he told Sri Narad Muni, I want my migraine cocktail. What is that? The mixture, cocktail means mixture. The mixture of the dust of the lotus feet of my devotees. Bring me the dust of the lotus feet of my devotees and smear it on my head. My headache will be relieved. And what does Sri Narad Muni do? Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati, Ityadi, chalo, chalo. Give the dust of your feet. Oh, why, Narad Muni? I want to put it on Krishna's head. What? No, no, he's Bhagwan. If we put dust from our feet on his head, it will be great offense on our part. We'll go to hell. No, it's inappropriate. Aishwarya Jnana. Aishwarya Shithila Bhakti. Aishwarya Shithila Prem. Prem that is restricted and hindered by Aishwarya Jnana. Nobody gives. Sri Narad Muni goes and asks so many devotees. Krishna is having headache. I want dust from your feet to put on Krishna. What? What? No, don't even say like this. Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. It will be offense. We'll go to hell. Then Sri Narad Muni goes to Vraj. And there he sees the Vraj Gopis. And he tells the Vraj Gopis headed by Srimati Radharani, Shri Krishna is having a headache. The treatment is to put dust of your feet on Krishna's head. Immediately the gopis, they start collecting dust from their feet and they give it to Sri Narad Muni. Go, go, go. Oh, you are not worried? Narad Muni asks. You are not worried about going to hell? Don't you think it will... Shh, don't talk. Go. Give the dust first to Krishna. Then you come and we'll explain to you. If Krishna's headache can be relieved for one moment, for that we are willing to go to hell for eternity. From their heart, truthfully, the innocent gopis, they said like that. This is Prem. Shuddha Prem. This is Anyabhilashita Shunyam. This is Anukulena Krishna. Haribol. So all of them are sitting. Krishna is not feeling. So when Krishna doesn't feel well, it is a Leela. Such a big Leela happened because Krishna was having a headache. We came to know the glories of the Vraj Gopis. Now also Krishna is not feeling well and a Leela is going to happen. Haribol. So when Krishna doesn't feel well, it is a Leela. Krishna's finger gets cut while cutting fruits. What happens? It becomes a Leela. Isn't it? Draupadi tears her sari and wraps it around Krishna's finger. Oh, Draupadi, you are the queen of Indraprasth. Such a nice sari Yudhishthira Maharaj had given you. You ripped it. Krishna, what are you saying? I'm worried about your finger. Oh, Draupadi, you love me so much. You are my sister. You are my dear friend. Someday I will repay you each and every fiber of this sari. Krishna said that. Hare Krishna. When Krishna is not feeling well, it becomes a Leela. Haribol. Today Krishna is not feeling well, dear devotee. So he's sleeping alone in his bedroom. Uddhav is sitting with Rukmini, Satyabhama, Devaki, Rohini, Ityadi on the terrace. While the other male people are sitting in the assembly hall, Sudharma assembly hall, except Balramji. Balramji is also on the terrace with Uddhav. Both of them are there because they are with Krishna always. Precisely while Lord Krishna was disturbed, Sri Parishit Maharaj will reveal to his mother a little further on in this narration. Hari Bol. He does not want her to become agitated by hearing this too soon. Padmavati was Ugrasen's wife, Ugrasen Maharaj's wife. The Shrishti Khanda 48 to 51 of the Padma Puran describes that after their marriage, she stayed a short time in the house of her father, King Satyaketu. At that time, a demonic messenger of Kuvers named Drumila or Gobhila became attracted to her, and by disguising himself as Ugrasen, the child born was from this illicit connection was Kamsa, Drumila, and um, Ugrasen's wife, Padmavati. That was so Kamsa was not directly Ugrasen's son, but this demon, Drumila. तूष्णीं भूताश्च ते सर्वे वर्तमाना सविस्मयम् तत्र श्रीनारदं प्राप्तम् ऐक्षन्ता पूर्वचेष्टितम्. All of them sat there silent in shock. They saw that Sri Narad Muni had arrived and that he was acting strange. Narad Muni came on the terrace. Uddhav is sitting with Balram and Satyabhama and Rukmini and Devaki Mata, Rohini Mata, Padmavati. They're all sitting. And Narad Muni is in Swanama Kirtya. Jatanurago. Druta Chitta Uchche. He was in that ecstatic state. These devotees who would regularly take part in Krishna's daily palace activities were dismayed that Krishna was lying in bed way past the time he normally rose. He's not feeling well. It was obvious to them that something was seriously wrong, but they couldn't discern exactly what. Nonetheless, they now had to attend to Sri Narad Muni's arrival. Devarshi has come. We have to receive him appropriately. Utthaya yatnad aniya स्वास्थ्यं नीत्वा क्षणेन तं प्रेमाश्रु क्लिन्नवदनं प्रक्षाल्याहुशनैर्लघु. Standing up, they brought him carefully to where they had been sitting. They took a moment to restore him to a condition closer to normal and wiped dry his face, wet tears of love, wet with tears of love. Premashru. Utthaya, they stood up, Shanai, and brought carefully to where they were sitting. Oh, Narad Muni, come, come. Shri Narad Muni, please come, please come. Swagatam, Swagatam, Suswagatam. But it took some time for them to restore him to a condition closer to normal. Narad Muni, you seem like you're in ecstasy. They wiped his dry face, they wiped his tears of love. Then they spoke to him. All the Yadus, they spoke to him. These very dear Yadus, like Uddhav, they spoke to him. Very simple, very gently. Prakshalya, they wiped his tears. Premashru. When the devotees began talking to Sri Narad Muni, they spoke quietly and in few words so as not to awaken Krishna and also not to agitate Narad Muni further by saying something wrong. Yes, when someone is crying, someone is in uh, kind of a trance, one has to be very gentle. Gentle. Also, Sri Krishna was sleeping downstairs. They didn't want to disturb Krishna. Adrishtapurvam asmabhi kidrisham te cheshtitam आकस्मिकम इदम ब्रह्मंस तूष्णीम उपविशक्षणम. Uddhav and others, Balramji, they said, we have never seen you behave like this, O Narad Muni. What is this sudden change in you, dear Brahman Devarshi? Please sit here quietly for a moment. Sit down, sit down. Thoda calm down, compose yourself. Shri Parikshit Uvacha Sagadgadam Uvacha Shrudhara Militalochanaya Yatnad means with great endeavor Yatnad Unmilayan Natva Sakampa Pulakachita. Aha. Shri Parikshit Maharaj tells Shri Uttara Devi, his mother, "O mother," Shripad Narad Muni replied in a choking voice, Sa Gadgadam Uvacha. He spoke, but Gadgadvani. His voice was choked up. Ashrudhara. There was a flowing constantly of Prem Ashrudhara, tears of love from his eyes, tears of love. As Shri Narad Muni began to speak, he opened his eyes with difficulty. Militalochane, eyes were closed. He was crying, tears were flowing. And with great effort, great endeavor, yatnad, with some difficulty, unmilayan natva. He opened his eyes and offered pranam, bowed down. Natva means to do namaskar. He bowed down. Where does this word come? Opening of the eyes. Unmilitam. Om adnyana timirandhasya ज्ञानांजन शलाकया चक्षुर उन्मिलित means lochan unmilita chakshur unmilitam yeah. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my obeisances to Shri Guru who opened my eyes with the ointment of knowledge, divine knowledge, whereas before I was in the darkness of ignorance. Adnyana timira andhasya. I was blinded. I was in the darkness. Timira means darkness of adnyan, ignorance, avidya. But jnana anjana, with divya jnana prakash, with divya jnana prakash, with jnananjana, with the ointment of knowledge, jnananjana. Sometimes if there is a lot of infection in the eye is swollen and closed. But when you put antibiotic ointment, then the infection goes away, swelling goes away, and the eyes are able to open and see again. Jnananjana shalakaya chakshurudmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Maharaj opened my eyes with the knowledge of divine, with divine knowledge. So they bowed down. So Narad Muni bowed down to the Yadus, Balramji, Uddhavji, opened his eyes with great difficulty, and Sakampa, he was trembling, and Pulakachita, his hair were standing on end, all, both his forearms, they could see the hair is standing on end. That's how Narad Muni was. So Narad Muni is now seated on the terrace with Uddhav, Balramji, Devaki, Rohini, Padmavati, Satyabhama, Rukmini, ityadi. Some maid servants. They are worried that Krishna is sleeping, Krishna is not feeling well. And now suddenly unexpected Atithi has come, Shri Narad Muni, who also seems to be agitated. They brought him, softly said, Narad Muni, please sit down. What happened? Why are you in this state? We have never seen you like this, so agitated. You are trembling, your hair is standing on and tears are flowing from your eyes. You're crying. You're not able to speak. Your voice is choked up. Gadgadvani. Please sit, please sit. Please tell us what happened. And now Shri Narad Muni is going to speak to the Yadus. Narad Muni is in ecstasy because he's just so excited to meet with the topmost devotees of Shri Krishna. So now what Shri Narad Muni tells the Dwarakavasi best devotees, Krishna willing, we will continue reading tomorrow. Shri Brhad Bhagavatamrta ki jai, Shri Sanatan Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, our beloved founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada ki jai, aap sab ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. सबको मिले श्री वृंदावन।